We about to jump right into this football, baby. It was a woo! We got some shit to go over here. Crazy weekend, great Sunday of football. We're gonna jump right in and start with this NFC Championship game. Obviously, the Bucs getting a 31-26 win over the Packers. And before we get into this specific game, man, I got to give all the love and all the praise and respect to this man, TB12. You know what I'm saying? Just an anomaly of a thing I think we're witnessing and have witnessed over the past 20 years. Like you said, obviously to play in New England for 20 years and to have 6 Super Bowl rings, they go into 9 is just absolutely insane. And then during the offseason, I've been hearing the jokes and whatnot of it just seems like Tom Brady picked the team and just said, hey, put the team on my back. We finna go run up this chip, get this Super Bowl. But that makes me think too about this Tampa Bay roster. We talked a little bit last night. I mean, Tampa Bay as of last year and was building something good. They had some players on that team. Like we saw Shaq Barrett, Chris Godwin, Rojo kind of have these breakout years. Obviously Mike Evans and whatnot was established. And they had some other good players on defense, but you bring in Tom Brady, plug him into that system. I mean, and he's going to do what he just did. The fact that, you know what I'm saying, a 43-year-old dude just went out there and got a historically shitty football team all the way.
Historically shitty, dude. That was the point I was bringing up to you. Is like the Bucs win percentage is not good. Like they're not really, in the grand scheme of things, they really haven't been up there.
I mean, they won that Super Bowl, 10, 15 years, like 2002.
Well, I'm talking lifetime record here. I'm not talking about having a ring or not, you know. Sure. But, going back to just TB12 here, I mean, we really just got to take a second and, acknowledge what we're seeing right here in football history. I mean, it's just insane. He had the best QB season we've ever seen, career we've ever seen in New England, played there for 20 years, packs shit up, goes to the other conference, goes to the NFC, has a great season, plays through the playoffs against 2 of the NFC's best quarterbacks, beats out Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, both at home, to go to a home Super Bowl in Tampa against a guy on the other side who might break all these records that Brady's setting right now. I mean, this is like a historic, this is some shit going on right here.
30 for 30 right here, what we just saw this season.
Time versus time, brother.
Time versus time. I mean, it really is that. Dude said he could play till 45, and I fucking believe him, dude.
He's gonna pick shit up, go back to the AFC next season. Yeah, they're gonna win money with the Colts.
I said the Colts or the Dolphins or something, bro. I just might hop on over there and be like, all right, bro, let's do it over here. Big shout out to Tom Brady, man. Just an absolute, like I said, just an anomaly of something happening in sports. But let's dissect this football game a little bit, man. Let's get into what happened. And I mean, the first half of this football game, Tom Brady looked, I think, as good as he ever has in a playoff game. That first half, he was wheeling and dealing, and that Tampa Bay offense was obviously, grooving at a really good pace. Obviously, the late second or going into halftime through a fucking bomb to Scotty Miller will just drop.
Scotty Miller, track star, brother. Literally saw a video on Twitter him running 400 in high school track, fucking dusting all these inner city kids, bro. Shout out Scotty Miller, son.
Scotty Miller, dude, just throwing one on a rope out there and coming down with it and going into halftime with some momentum. And second half of this football game, man. Listen, I told you last night, if I would have not watched this game, you would have told me that in the second half, Tom Brady was going to throw 3 straight picks, I would have thought Green Bay is winning that football game.
Yeah.
There's no way. And obviously, that boy Kevin King for the Packers blew a couple coverages for sure. But I'm not going to lie, and I really don't think at this point this is much of a hot take. In a sense, for how much praise we gave him during the regular season, Aaron Rodgers obviously being an MVP, having a phenomenal season, just amazing, putting a lot of respect on his name. I think in a way he choked this game a little bit, because if we're going to give him all the praise for the regular season, we got to give a little blame to him for this football game. Like I said, to not capitalize on 3 straight interceptions to me is just, obviously the rest of the offense contributes to that, but you're Aaron Rodgers. If you're that dude, you have to pull that off. And Aaron Rodgers definitely didn't have a bad game. I'm not saying that. He didn't play terrible. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're like I'm saying, you're a top 5, top 10 quarterback of all time. You need to pull that off. Tom Brady doesn't throw 3 interceptions in a row. And you know what I'm saying? You're at home. Yeah. You need to be able to march down the field and score that football. And so, obviously the things happened where they did get close. And there's some pictures floating around of him having an open lane. They could have possibly
not running in. Yeah, we'd have had to outrun that middle linebacker there. Not sure who it is. But that's an arguable play going back and forth either way. But I mean, you're right. They just couldn't capitalize off these turnovers. I mean, that was going to be the story of the game. We knew going in. We said you couldn't give either of these quarterbacks the ball. I mean, they're both just going to do the damn thing. I mean, a couple questionable calls from Matt LaFleur towards the end of the game, going for that field goal versus the touchdown. But again, at the same point, at that point in time during the game, it was an eight-point game. So they needed both of that anyway. They really weren't even going to be able to figure it out. So I don't know. It's just a couple tough calls there. I don't see anything really changing for them. Quick shout out to Chris Godwin, dude. Had 110 yards on 5 receptions. And Brady had 7 receivers all over 15 yards. Just dealing it, bro.
Everybody eating.
And another thing I want to point out here is the time of possession. I said it was going to be super important here. Packers held the ball for 34 minutes and 37 seconds. Brady and the Bucs had the ball for 25 minutes, bro, and outscored them. That's what
I got to say, man.
That's just good football, dude.
Obviously questionable play calls and whatnot, but like I said, I got a little just definitely disappointed in A-Rod a little bit. Just, you know what I'm saying? You're that guy and you need to go out and prove it. And obviously overall he didn't have a bad game, but the fact that you had a more time of possession, you had 3 chances off turnovers to try to make something happen. Obviously some kinky play calls there, but you gotta make those audibles, dude. You whatever you gotta do.
I don't know. I actually disagree with you a little bit here. I take a little bit of the blame away from A-Rod.
You can't give him
I lean a little bit more towards them not being able to establish a run game at all during this game. They had run back by committee between Jones, Williams, and Dillon, and they didn't even combine for 60 yards. I mean, they just could not keep the ball on the ground. And Aaron Rodgers was dealing the ball too. I mean, he had holy fuck, dude. He had 9 receivers with at least a reception. MVS had 115 yards on 4 receptions. Devontae Adams did his thing, 67 with a touchdown. I mean, Allen Lazard had a few big plays. Robert Tonyan, literally, he was getting everyone involved. I mean, it just comes down to them. It wasn't enough. You're right.
Super Bowl we're talking about here.
And you're right. But
I don't want to take anything away from him. I just think, if we're going to, obviously Devontae Adams is great and whatnot, but if we're going to give, 75% of the Packers' success this season to Aaron Rodgers, I got to obviously look at his performance and break that down. And the whole thing with the field goal and whatnot going on, like you said, whatever way you wanted to look at it, even if they had went for it, Tampa would have been in, I think, a field position to where Green Bay still could have figured things out. But Tampa Bay on the defensive side of the ball, man, like I said, that I don't know, that defense is just good. Obviously coming in that game with the number 1 rush defense, that boy Shaq Barrett getting after it, JPP getting after it.
They had 5 sacks on A-Rod.
5 sacks on A-Rod. I mean, that's good. Obviously the Packers.
And a pick and a fumble. I mean, they played a great defensive game. They gave up 26 points, but you really I don't know. It looked further apart watching the game versus what the score was.
Oh, for sure. And I know the Packers had Bakhtiari was out on the offensive line. Yep. They had a couple guys switched around.
Huge, dude. I mean, the highest paid left tackle in history. I mean, obviously he's going to make a difference, but you're right. You're going to the Super Bowl. Dude's got to step in. I mean, AB didn't play on the other side. Chris Godwin just popped off. You got to have that filler. Got to have that bench.
Got to have that bench, man. Because like I said, Tampa's defense was a handful. That boy Devin White is a superstar. Obviously, Antoine Winfield playing huge playoff minutes. And that boy Sean Murphy Bunting. Say it again, Sean Murphy Bunting, dude. Just an awesome player that's stepping up in a big time role for them. Big shout out to the Bucs, man, for going out there and getting it done. I that was one of my early predictions in the year. Was I did think they would win the Super Bowl just because I can't bet against Tom Brady. And I think at the end of the day, like you said, I'm looking at. I really think the Packers should have been able to win this football game and capitalize off things. But they just couldn't. Tom Brady's just made it happen, and Packers just didn't do enough to get over that hump. So, I mean, and obviously, there's rumblings going around. It's obviously just stretches and hearsay. It's just because it's fun to talk about, obviously, the future of the Packers and whatnot. And people just need something to talk about. So they're obviously talking about what Aaron Rodgers potentially is going to happen to him. I don't think
for sure. I mean, whether he does stay or doesn't, I mean, it's just too soon. I mean, like, let's just give the man a fucking, let's give him a day to breathe. I mean, he just went through arguably known as like the hardest thing you can do to your body in NFL season, especially at a quarterback, made all the way. I mean, he's got to be feeling some type of way losing another conference championship game. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, dude, his playoff record's not that good. He's like 1-7 trailing at half in the playoffs. I mean, I know what we say from a talent standpoint. He might be, the best quarterback we've ever seen, man. And obviously he's got great regular season numbers, but obviously back-to-back NFC championships is phenomenal, but playoffs just like, you know what I'm saying, hasn't really been able to
look at all of Green Bay's, franchise quarterbacks. It's the same story.
Well, they really only had 2 the past fucking 25 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the 3. It's Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's the same thing. And with all 3 of them, I don't think the quarterback's the issue. They have to try and develop that team more. I mean, going into this season, we saw them draft Jordan Love instead of that one piece that could have pushed them to the Super Bowl.
That's why I think A-Rod, dude, could mull over a couple of those decisions and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Y'all ain't helping me trying to win. I just took y'all to a couple of NFC championships, and I felt like y'all could have done more for me. And like I said, because in a way, at some point in time, dude, that Jordan Love pick has to get justified. And Matt LaFleur, they traded up to get him, so they obviously want him to be in that role. Matt LaFleur obviously wants Jordan Love to be his guy, and, maybe he fucked around and blew that game on purpose, dude. Get Aaron Rodgers the fuck out of it. I don't know
about all that.
I don't know. They're going to have to figure some things out. But like I said, let all that talk marinate. I could obviously – Aaron Rodgers bouncing is obviously a possibility I could see happening.
For sure, a possibility. I mean, if he was going to go, I like him going to San Francisco, brother.
Hey, dude, it's his favorite team growing up.
West Coast kid.
They already have a really good roster in place. If he could step in there, obviously Indy right now is going to be the quarterback hotspot carousel option for the next however many weeks it comes until what they figure out. I wouldn't mind seeing Aaron Rodgers in a Niners uniform. That'd be pretty dope. Let him have a little last dance tour there at his hometown, be at home and whatnot, and go forward. So I'm hyped. But that was a really awesome game to watch, a really weird game.
It was incredible.
But incredible football game with 2 legends at the helm, and obviously Tom Brady about to play a home game in the Super Bowl, which is crazy to say.
First time ever. I mean, it's literally it's probably never going to happen again.
Probably not.
It's I don't know. It's crazy to really just sit down and really wrap your head around it. I mean, after you're done watching this video, hop on Google, do some Googles, just realize what the fuck is going on right now.
It really is, dude. This is going to be some movie level shit come 20 years from now, dude. Crazy story.